I've gone through a lot of a process of restoration, and every traumatic event that still happens, you still have to deal with. Emotions are a good servant and a bad master, and emotions are triggered often by mindsets or neural pathway links to memories that then trigger an emotional response that is very difficult to predict and very difficult to stop. And so often we react before we have an opportunity of catching ourselves. But it is possible, and I do believe all those memories can be restored, healed, and we can be made whole in the process. But it takes time. Every time I'm aware that I've been triggered, or I'm aware that my reactions to something are not as they should be, and that could be that I become defensive, I become aggressive, I become angry, I become passive, I become embarrassed, lots of different emotions that I often have in connection to particular stimuli and triggers, that I've learned to be discerning about it. And I have a whole process within the Engaging God program, actually, and there's a sort of flow diagram, and it's called trauma to transformation. So when traumas surface, it's a great opportunity of finding out what the roots are of that trauma and why the triggers took place, and then walking through those memories with Jesus, with the Father, to bring healing and wholeness to them, so that the neural pathways get removed and the pathways to the truth replace the pathways to the memories, which often have lies and other negative things attached to them. And when we replace that with the truth, then we are not triggered in the same way. But it does take time, and there is a process involved in it. You know, do continue to go to the Father, to him, and don't get condemned or feel guilty if your emotions overtake you in a moment or in a particular time. Just learn to come and recenter yourself quickly. When you feel you're getting angry or those emotions come, learn to breathe. Breathing, slow down your breathing, learn to center, learn to refocus, and you'll find that you can regain control of the situation much quicker until you can deal with the whole dynamic. Now, does God want to separate our soul and spirit? Yes. So that he can reintegrate our soul and spirit, so our spirit has much more direct towards the soul than the soul has towards the spirit, which is often for independence. And our soul, our spirit doesn't need purifying because it's never been polluted in any way, but our soul does. And there are things that, like trauma and events and things we've done, things been done to us, things we've seen, which can have a negative effect. I like to go to sleep, and I go, as Psalm 23 talks, and go and lie down in green pastures by quiet waters and ask the Father to restore my soul as the shepherd of my soul, that he would restore my soul while I sleep. And as I present myself as a living sacrifice to him, which is constantly surrendered to allow him to do whatever he wants to do, then I respond when he shows me something. And sometimes triggers can be dealt with quickly, and you'll find out that the Father can reveal and show you what the roots of those triggers are. And sometimes it takes a while. I remember I was triggered probably about 4 or 5 years ago in a serious way, out of the blue, in a situation which was like really didn't seem to warrant my emotional reaction. And I was so surprised by my overreaction to a situation that I had to go to the Father, and I saw an area of darkness in me, but I couldn't penetrate it. And the Father didn't seem to want to show me. But eventually, after a few months, I was at a point where then it was the right time, and the Father opened that area of darkness and showed me what the root was. It went back to my childhood. It went back to a traumatic event, which I dissociated from, couldn't remember. And that was triggered by a set of circumstances, which then enabled me to see eventually what it was. But I didn't fret, and I didn't think, oh no, I've got to deal with this darkness. What is it? I focused on spending my time in rest and peace with the Father, enjoying his love, enjoying love, joy, and peace, living in that place of rest. And eventually he dealt with it. So the sacrifice doesn't prepare itself. The high priest prepares it. So I give myself to God daily. He does whatever he wants to do, but I keep my focus on him and not on the negative. I don't go searching for things to deal with, and I don't press the Father to deal with it. I trust him to deal with the things in the right way, or show me what he wants me to do. And I'll just hand it all over to him and put my trust in his provision to renew my mind, to heal my emotions, to restore me in every way, so that none of those issues will affect me in the future. And I believe he's doing the same for you, that he'll bring you into a place of wholeness, spirit, soul, and body, that you can be in a sense of oneness with him also, in a relationship which brings you joy and peace and overflowing grace and mercy and love all the time.